Hey, folks, welcome back to the Trailer Park
Oh,
Show.
yeah.
How's that for timing, man?
Hey, keep going. We were just-
Well, we've got our panel extraordinaire over here. So we want to welcome Gavino Fernandez Jr. from LULAC. We also have
Me, of course.
we have
Sam Osemene.
and me. Hi.
No
How y'all
Cargill.
doing?
Cargill's been big time in the news. He's doing Bitcoin. He'll be back next week, and then we'll talk about some of what he's been doing. Anyway, we do have Osemene Sam's been on the show in quite some time now.
Absolutely.
But he's been on several times before, so we're gonna let you tell us who you are and stuff, and then we'll get going on you.
Well, I'm Sam Osemene. Most of you guys know who I am already. You know, I've been in Austin for many years. I went to school here at the University of Texas. I love politics. I study political science, both undergraduate and graduate school. So currently I teach government at Austin Community College. And I'm a small business owner here in Austin called Tropical Market. So I'm a very busy guy.
Can I stop you for a minute?
Go ahead, sir.
You teach government class at ACC, and you brought one of those classes in here one time. Remember that?
Absolutely.
Guess what they wanted to talk about? Marijuana. The whole show was nothing but marijuana. I know we're going to hear all about, how they want to know about government law.
Yes, the students are very interested, They like to talk about some issues that affect them. You know how
Marijuana.
kids are, But look at Colorado.
And they got credit for that class, too, huh?
Well,
I thought so.
it's a good way to get engaged in the
They
community.
got them engaged. We had a constitutional guy down here,
Yeah.
but they didn't have any constitutional questions. All they wanted about, and this was a couple of years ago.
It was about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah,
And
something
now,
like
of
that.
course, they all want to move to Colorado or Washington or California,
It's coming to Texas.
whether we like it or not, huh?
Yeah. It's going to be here.
That's what we need. We'll all be stoned out there, huh?
Thanks to Rick Perry, your governor. Thanks to Perry.
Yeah,
he's
I heard
Because
you
of
for
the
it.
conversation- because
Yeah,
of the
he's
comment
for
they
it.
made.
Yeah, he's for it.
I think the big part that everybody forgot to mention was that he was for the legalization of medicinal use. Where right now, the funny part that nobody remembers is that you can get
already.
it from the federal government. Granted, it's not going to have the same levels of THC, but you can still get a prescription from the federal government where you can smoke pot.
Yeah, they say it's like Kansas weed or something. Ain't no good.
I don't know which one it is, but it's one of those things where you can get it legally right now. All you have to do is show proof. The states have made it so lax where you can say, well, my eye hurts, and then all of a sudden they say, okay, here you go.
Wow.
You hear that, Ma? Just go in there and tell them your aches and pains. And
How long you been teaching at ACC?
I've been there for to 6 years.
6 years?
Yes, 6
And-
years.
and you
And I
argue on
love
problems.
it. Oh, absolutely.
Marijuana will stop
I love
you
it.
from aggravating me.
it might make my aggravating you a little bit more easier to take.
No.
Yeah.
It is an introductory course or what?
No, it's like I teach
concentrated
both the
area?
Texas government and the U.S. government, the whole full course. And it's very interesting. You talk about the Federalist Papers, the Constitution.
Marijuana.
No, we don't talk about
It's
marijuana.
also it's one of the, you could see it as one of the selectives or requirements.
It's a requirement, yeah, absolutely, based on the state law. And it's I enjoyed some of the cases like Plessis versus Ferguson case, the Supreme Court cases. You talk about Roe v. Wade, MAP Ohio, Gideon Wainwright. So the students basically they learn a lot when it comes to the U.S. government course because no matter where you are, you should know some of those basic principles and what they are about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Federalist Papers and stuff like that. So I really enjoy teaching them when it comes to Texas government. That's another course, 2305 and 2306, where we talk about the history of Texas, the politics, when Texas was part of Mexico, from becoming part of Mexico, becoming an independence in 1836, then 1845, joined the Union as the 28th state, joined the Union, left in 1861, came back 1866, 1869, and our current Texas Constitution was written in 1876. Well, it was written in 1874, but we call it 1876 Texas Constitution. So if you look back, presently, the Constitution we have today is the 1876 Texas Constitution. Although, like in 1974, a constitutional convention was held to reform the whole entire constitution, but he failed due to politics, cockroaches, and lobbyists in the political process. So Texas is a very interesting structure. Most people don't know this, that in Texas, the power of our government does not reside with the executive branch. The legislature has the power in Texas, our government, the way it's set up. So we have what we call a plural executive, which means you have different offices like the Attorney General's office, the Lieutenant Governor's office. Everybody is elected by the people. So what you have right now, because you want to take away the power from the executive branch, because of what happened, the experience during the Reconstruction by E.J. Davis. Because when E.J. Davis was the governor of Texas, there was a centralization of power in the executive branch, and he was a Republican. So when the Democrats took over in 1874, they had to reform the Constitution. And they gave us the 1876 Texas Constitution by taking away the power from the executive branch and gave it to the legislature. So that's what we have today, currently.
So it was the Republicans and way back when. pressing things
Well, that was after the Civil War and the carpetbagger Republicans came in.
Yeah, because you have to look at the
Because we
Civil
were
War.
the
Yeah,
Yankees.
it was after the Civil War, and the South lost. The Union won the war, so they needed a strong hand because of, if you know what was going on in the South, and Texas being part of the southern states, about this whole Jim Crow law and discrimination. So the Republicans wanted to use that, especially the E.J. Davis, especially in Texas, was the Iron Man. Every elective office in Texas was by appointment. No, there was no election.
Mayors and everything.
Everything was appointed. The mayor, the police chief, every position.
In that era.
In
From
1869 era.
1865
Yeah.
till 72 or 3, whatever it was.
Yeah, absolutely. So because the goal was just to
It
have
was
a
a pre-government,
yeah, it was arguably was most people will argue it was the right thing to do because you have to look at the environment, what was going on in the whole country as per state. So but when Texas left in 1861 to join the Confederacy, you know, what happened then, the whole issue about slavery came into the whole Constitution of 1861. So when they lost the war and became part of the Union again, the 1866 Constitution and 1869, the whole issue of slavery were all removed. So you can see the whole history of Texas. And right now people are celebrating the Juneteenth holiday in the whole, you have to know the history behind it, the Juneteenth. So like I tell students, you have to research because when Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation Act in 1863, Texas did not recognize until 1865, like June 19, 1865, that, oh, yeah, African Americans are now officially free. So every year now we celebrate the Juneteenth to remember that era, what happened.
News traveled pretty slow back then.
Yeah.
Well,
There's another aspect.
There was a couple of things that are
Hold on
clear
here,
on that part.
real quick while I'm on this, while you're on this. There's another aspect to this 1865 to 72 or 3 that a lot of people don't recall, and it was not just the point you bring up, but also there was a lot of Yankees that were really wanting to deal much stronger with the South, including Texas. And so this system you're talking about that was set up, it was just short of martial law.
Yes.
Because there were a lot of folks
Under
up
E.J.
north
Davis,
that,
yes.
you know, they want to see people hung, and they really wanted to crack down hard. And so the way it wound up, you wound up carpetbaggers, when some of these Yankees come down here, when these people were broke and they couldn't pay their property taxes, you know, you buy them out, but this prevented, it could have been a lot worse. So actually, we benefited in the South from that because of the leniency, if you can call it that. If you know, a lot of people may not see it that way, but if it hadn't been for that kind of system you're talking about in 1865 and the 70, we'd have been chinkled big time. There were some, you know, some Yankees that are really strong lawyers, and they wanted to come down here and chingle everybody.
Yeah, because you have to also look at the history of the Yankees coming to Texas. When the president of Mexico, Santa Anna, he was elected in 1833. He opened up Mexico, invited people to come to Mexico, right? What happened? The Yankees came from the United States to Texas. Texas was part of Mexico.
Now,
So you can see the whole history behind it.
now hold on. You didn't teach them about 1810, 1811?
Well, you have to look at the house when Mexico got independence in 1821.
Yeah.
The Spanish influence in Mexico.
But the fight
So-
for Texas independence actually started in 1810.
No. Well,
1811, Battle of Medina,
No, Poke. Corporate
Yeah.
operation. No. You have to look at the history. 1836 revolution and how Texas became a republic in 1836. So you can say 1810, who was here? It was still under the Spanish rule.
And they were fighting the royalists from Spain
Yes.
to make Texas independence. And a lot of Anglos, they call them, not realizing that the Spaniards were Anglos too, including an American Revolutionary War hero who was killed in the Battle of Medina, right here in Texas, in 1811.
Yeah, those
They
were
were fighting the royalists, the Mexicans, and the royalists of Spain who were controlling them. Because back then, you talk about racism, you had to prove you were a pure-blood Spaniard, or you couldn't hold any office anywhere. And so the Tejanos in Texas were resisting this, and so a lot of Anglos from North America came down to join them, and that was the first real start. The bloodiest battle in Texas was 1811. Everybody knows about the Alamo and San Jacinto, but who knows about the Battle of Medina?
Yeah, things happen. But if you look, politically, if you look at the history of
We
Mexico
were
and Texas,
roundly defeated. They wiped us all out, and
but look at the
that was the
Alamo.
end of the revolution.
But look at the Alamo. If you live in Texas, people always say, "Remember the Alamo. Remember
Yeah.
the Alamo." Okay, who won that war?
Mexico.
Exactly. But
No, who won that battle was Mexico.
Well, we can call it battle or war, but the point is that Mexico won.
Mexico won that battle.
But one of the reasons why we celebrate that is to show our resilience. We don't give up.
Come back.
We came back. We don't run away. We fight.
Well, we've
Did
been
last
into
night.
Texas history. You are running for city council. Election is tomorrow, but I always like Texas history because a lot of people don't realize that. And you also know that Presidio County, Texas, is the longest plowed fields in the continental United States. We almost beat out St. Augustine, Florida, except the Apaches came and ran the people off to cross the Rio Grande.
What district will you be running in?
District 1.
You ready to get off of history and go back to politics?
Well,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned going to politics, so dive in.
Yeah, history is very important. Without history, you wouldn't know where you're coming from. But it's going to be
1590.
District 1.
District 1, how many persons have thrown their hat into that district? How many people have mentioned?
Currently, I would say probably 3, but I don't know who they are right now. But
Allegedly.
Well, right now, officially, no one can really do any activity or anything until May.
Yeah, officially, you cannot raise money. Officially, you cannot accept money. You cannot accept any donation until probably May, June. But you can do what we call invisible primary, which you let people know I will be running.
Well, what they call exploratory.
Exactly. We are exploring
So-
to see.
And that can raise money?
When is the filing date? Do you know?
It's July. I think it's July 20th. If my
still have
date
time.
is I think it's July or June 20th.
I
Either
know
one.
I
August
still have
the-
time.
Huh?
I still have time to
Oh,
to
I
rent
know
that sofa.
August the 18th is the deadline. The reason that date stuck in my
Yeah,
head is because August 19th is my birthday.
Oh,
So-
well, happy birthday in advance.
But what is it? What type of challenges do you see in District 1? So that the
Yeah,
viewers,
absolutely.
the viewers that are listening to you now can start making a decision why they should vote for you.
Absolutely. I live in District 1, and one of the issues which the viewers and some of us here can attest to is a good example is the relation between the police department and those that live in District 1. I was talking to a few individuals a couple of days ago. I said, if you look at the police shootings in Austin, about 80 or 90% happen in District 1. The question is why? We're not saying that the cops are bad individuals or everybody that lives in District 1 is a criminal. I always believe that if you want to police a community, you should live in that community to understand what is going on. Because if you live, a good example, if you live in San Marcos, you drive in to work in District 1, you work in the city of Austin, or you live in Leander, you're a police officer in the city of Austin. Sometimes it may be very difficult to actually understand the community you police. And also, I always believe that if those that the public safety officers live in the community they serve, that will help to reduce the tension. Not only that, I also encourage those that live in District 1 also to follow the law. You cannot violate the law and expect to get away with it. And, so those are things we're trying to figure out, how do you solve that puzzle? And I strongly believe we can have what we call it community policing, which I call, if you see something, you say something. Because some of this stuff doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. If somebody is a criminal, does not start right now. So my thing is I have to bring the community, those that live in District 1, have a dialogue, with the Austin Police Department to have a better working relationship. So it's a collective effort.
Now that we are going to have district elections, they're totally different campaigns. You said
I've done it, yeah, absolutely.
You ran
yeah,
citywide?
Yeah, citywide,
Okay.
absolutely.
So now that it's concentrated just in District 1, what groups or individuals are supporting you? Are you reaching out to, or you haven't formulated that yet, or you're working
No,
on it?
there are a lot of people out there, groups strategically. I don't want to say anything that much about it right now because for some reason, politically speaking.
Right.
But there are a lot of people out there that have indicated their interest. And I can't wait. I'm just looking forward to that
Right.
campaign. I
Exactly.
enjoy campaign. We talk about the issues. This will be more issue focused. That's what this election is going to be in November. Because like I said, if you look at the District 1 especially, if you guys recall about the WTP4, the water treatment plant number 4, that was built somewhere in the city of Austin, I was against it because if you look at District 1, even in South Austin and some areas of the city, I believe that the city should use that money to revamp and renovate our old electric and water lines instead of spending that money to build a new plant. Because you cannot neglect one part of the city and focus attention to the other part of the city. This is one city. And I strongly believe that we all should get together and work as a team. And most of the industrial waste in the city of Austin also, look at District 1. The location, trucking companies, more or less in District 1. The question is, what is going on here? Look at the landfill on
I'm trying to
290.
think, District 1, that's northeast.
Northeast, it goes through the main
Exposition.
road.
I'll bring the damn map next time.
Exposition?
I bring the map. I can draw the map for you.
Exposition.
No, not
No.
Exposition, the
A good example is the
where they
landfill.
ran the gun show out of it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the county.
it's Travis County
Uh,
Exposition around that area.
Yeah.
If you look
Yeah,
at the
the
landfill
landfill's
is out there,
Some trucking yards,
and which I think doesn't make any
concrete
sense.
plants and all.
You cannot have a landfill in the middle of the city. People live in those
When that
neighborhoods.
landfill was started, it was not the middle of the city.
Well, it
They
is, but right
just dumped it. I
now,
mean,
it's in the middle of the
there.
city. It's right now, it's in the middle of the city.
The problem
You
that comes
run,
up with
you
the
win.
landfill, the problem that comes up with moving a landfill, is that eventually the city's going to want to utilize that property to build
For something.
for something, and you end up getting gaps
can't
because this
do it.
happened in El Paso on the east side of town,
Yeah.
where you end up building, and then when you try building, there's air pockets or whatever
Methane gas bubbles
the
up.
decompression that goes on, or the decomposition of stuff, and you end up getting these little pockets that end up causing air gaps, and those air gaps end up causing the ground to be unsettled,
Exactly.
and you have problems in that part. So if they were to try to even move it, which if that's their
Yeah,
choice,
you can't move it.
but I mean, you can
They can
you
close it,
relocate-
they can close
They
it.
can close
Close
it
it,
and relocate it, and they can create a whole new dump. But they're going to try to get that land and utilize it, but it's going to cause a problem
Down the road.
down the road.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Because if you look at the landfill and then look at 290 and Mano, that area would be the new downtown, whether we like it or not. That the Toro, Palmer area, 290
Miner's
is
growing, no doubt
growing.
about it.
So why are you going to have a landfill in that location? Something has to be done.
Well, aside from the police issue and that particular community, what other issues would you, do you see are, need attention in District 1 that you would move forward with as a council member?
Another issue is the affordable housing. It's a very big issue because you
Now, are we
cannot.
talking about at $80,000 or $25,000? There's a difference.
Well, when we say affordable housing, it should be affordable to any
Lower middle class
middle class.
type.
You have to have the breakdown. If you a good example, if you on Social Security SSI, you should be able to live in the city of Austin. We can match whatever you're making to. I'm not talking about. My point is the city of Austin.
Or a renter?
I would say both. I like private, enterprise. We should let the market also get involved. If government has to get involved, limited involvement, but let the private sector deal with it. But the whole issue is that affordable housing is a major issue. And if you look at East 11, East 12, you can see a lot of gentrification going on. Gentrification in terms of, back in the, let's say 15 years ago, 20 years ago, East 11 and East 12, they were different part of town. But when you go to East 11 right now, it's different. Because
You're a pretty smart, intelligent person. Let me ask you this question because you use the word gentrification. What's the difference between what's going on right now and it's being identified as gentrification versus genocide?
Well,
You came up with that a lot. I don't know why.
well, what I would say is this. As gentrification, well, let me
Is it
if
milder,
you
is
say-
it milder and nicer like the old Bush?
When you
old
think of,
Bush
I
you
won't
think of
say that,
genocide,
you
you think
know.
of
When old-
machetes and
when
killing
President
people.
Yeah, 'cause
Bush
you're
said
thinking
that
about
it was a
killing a
milder,
group of
kinder-
people. You're not
Exactly.
killing a group of
If you
people.
kill a
You're
group
not
of-
killing a
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
relocating them from one
You're
location
welcome
to
to stay there
another.
long
And
as
it
you
doesn't
want.
necessarily mean
If
that
you
you're
got the money.
ruining the culture. You are moving them from
But
out of an area
genocide
because they
doesn't
can no
mean-
longer be
but
there.
Genocide doesn't only mean that you're killing people. It doesn't.
But you're not losing
You're
the
not
history.
destroying your culture.
But you're not losing the culture.
No.
You're not losing the history.
Guys-
That history, that culture that those individuals have, when they move from one location to another, they still keep it, and they're able. And because they're here, they're able to carry that tradition and carry the cultures on. If it's in a house in El Paso or if it's in a house in Manor, they have the cultures and they have the traditions, and they carry on those traditions. It doesn't matter where they're staying at.
Still gonna be tamales for Christmas.
You're
Yeah.
still gonna have tamales and mole, so it's all good.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. There's a huge
Removed
difference.
from your land. It is.
So
a
you're telling
big
me the Democrats are all being,
Yeah.
are doing a
But
trail
when
of
you're
tears on us?
forced, when a government
Right.
puts policies and rules in place to remove you from your land, they don't have to kill you.
They can compensate you
That's
though.
genocide.
But there's
But they compensate you.
compensation. There's
And how are they doing
compensation.
that?
Okay,
are they gonna
so,
come?
so
They're
now
market
the-
price,
let me
right?
go ahead and put it in layman terms. You're
ahead.
having a group of Democrats here in Austin that are committing their own version of Trail of Tears.
All right.
It's
And it's your people.
your people.
No, I know. but what I'm
Your
saying-
people. You have Mr. Martinez over there who's allowing
Lead the
that.
charge.
I have no love
well-
for either one. My question, that's not answering my question. I'm trying to figure out what the difference is.
Yeah, there's a huge difference
Okay.
between gentrification and genocide.
Okay.
Which is deeper. Genocide, I don't think anybody will wish to see that happen.
Okay, so the decline in African Americans living in Austin is what?
Well, okay, let me answer that question because last time I was at KUT, that question came up about the African American population, the decline and everything, especially in the East Austin. And this is what I think. I say, look, if you live in a community, you're doing well economically, more education, people tend to move. I don't expect every African American to live in East Side. I don't expect every Anglo to live on West Side.
So is that the segregation expectation
No,
from the majority?
the point
I
I'm trying
call
to
it
make.
assimilation.
No, the point I'm trying
African
to.
Americans are
Yeah.
assimilating into the community.
No,
Moving to Pflugerville?
Yeah,
no,
now
no,
they got
They
good
got
jobs.
Hey, why not?
so look at it this way.
Buy a nice
Go ahead,
house.
go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish this point. It's very, very important because people, I'm one of those individuals. I always believe, no matter the color of your skin, everybody should have equal opportunity, but not guaranteed equal outcome. I believe that. You work hard, you get rewarded.
Right.
So I'm an African American individual. I'm proud of it. But this idea that, well, African Americans should live in District 1, I don't buy that. Or Hispanics should stay at Montopolis area. or Anglo should stay on West Side. It shouldn't be that way.
You think it ought
So
to be all
everybody-
Hispanic on the east
no,
side?
no,
or-
no.
No. What
Well,
happens if a Latino runs in District 1 and he or she wins?
Anybody can run
Okay.
anywhere. That's my point.
Okay.
Let the best candidate.
In
If you
that
want to
one
run,
district,
anybody,
regardless.
of your skin color, it doesn't
I
matter.
agree
That's,
with
that's
you.
what I'm saying. So we should not live in a city where we have this mentality
woman, or
because
woman be man.
you're African American or you're white or Hispanic or Asian. This is how it's supposed to be. People are people. When you get elected, you are representing everybody. If I go to the city council, I'm not just going there to look for the African American interest. Look at the whole city. So if African Americans are moving from East Austin to Round Rock, Pflugerville, North Austin, it's a good thing, economically and socially.
Okay.
And any group that say yes, I want whites to stay in West Austin, it's just like asking me, what about if African American guy moves to West Austin or Lakeway? Is it a good thing? Yes, it's a good thing. We cannot discriminate against anybody because of the color of their skin, and we should not buy into this mentality because you're this color, you should stay in one part of town.
Do
It
you
shouldn't be that way.
believe in affordable housing throughout Austin, or
Everywhere.
like in Enfield?
Yeah, like I said, everywhere.
West of Mopac? Everywhere, huh?
Pokey,
You know where Enfield is,
Pokey,
right?
I know I'm
West of
feeling.
Mopac.
Pokey,
Yes, sir.
it's like this. Affordable housing is affordable housing. It doesn't matter what part of town. If it's needed, fine.
But in Austin, it's not that way. So I guess what I'm saying is, would you advocate that it be throughout the whole city? Today, the majority of affordable housing is in East Austin
Housing
or
projects.
Sub Austin, southeast.
But that's
Where-
what he just answered.
where-
He said that. He said affordable housing everywhere should be everywhere.
Everywhere.
And that's where it's at. And I'm going to assume that if you became a representative
council,
in city council, if somebody came up and said, hey, I want to build this apartment complex out on Enfield or in that area, if you think it's
There's a
right,
need, there's a market for
if there's
it.
a market for it, he's
Build
going
it.
to vote for it. He's going to vote.
It's
He's going to support that portion because it's going to be good for everybody.
For everybody.
At least,
See,
from that perspective.
Exactly. Enterprise, private sector, they're all good things. If somebody comes up to the city council and say, I want to build affordable housing in West Austin, why not?
I want to vote and support you, but you show me how you're going to get 6 out of the 10 to support any issue you have. What are some of your skills? What are some of your effective ways of being able to accomplish that?
In any political structure or in any society, no matter where you are, there's always a compromise.
Okay.
There's no my way or the highway solution to anything. Sometimes you allow common sense to prevail. Whether you represent District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6,
Listen, go ahead.
whether you,
You got to remember, it's a Democrat-run city.
Yeah, that's it.
so it doesn't matter what district you represent. At the end of the day, you represent one city, the city of Austin. So we're not going to focus on. We have to get along. We have to get things done. That's what we have to understand.
All right, because you know you're going to have District 3 come say, District 1, I need your support on this. Will you help me?
There's nothing wrong with
District
that.
4, so
There's nothing wrong
so
with that.
they-
Then you
Yeah,
gotta
absolutely.
say, okay, but you gotta support me on this.
yeah.
Yeah, you look at
That's-
exactly. You look at
that's what I
that's why I
want.
say compromise.
That's what I want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
To be able to say, because see, the voters need to know that.
Oh, absolutely,
The
sir.
voters need to know,
Absolutely.
Like you just mentioned, it's not my way or the highway,
No.
so that you are.
It shouldn't
Like-
be
like they
my way or
say,
the highway. This. No, that's not what it's all about. Because any policy you make as a politician will always affect somebody's life. Always remember that. So you cannot say because I live in District 1, I will not support what is in District 2. You cannot stay in District 1 for the rest of your life.
Because at the end of the day, when we began all the fight for single member district was race.
I was part of it, the
But
single
no,
member
no,
district.
But I'm talking about the early fights.
There is fight, yeah.
In the 70s was all race-based. That's why we need to have single-member districts because of ethnicity. But as Austin grew, and Austin grew in the 80s, and then in the 90s, Austin annexed quite a bit, then it became a geographic issue. Because people in the rural areas were saying, we have no representation. Where we were annexed, but we have no, and these were the folks that in the 7th time that this effort took off, we started getting support, and then the Republicans came on board
Then it got done.
to do this.
Well-
because it became geographic. It was no longer, I want a district for you, for a black, for a Hispanic, Latino, no, it became geographic. And that, I believe,
Yes.
is the reason that it won this time.
Yeah, and also to add to what you just said, the current system right now we have is very, very flawed. It doesn't make any sense. But think about it this way: how will you live in a city where place 1 is for Hispanics,
Well,
place 6
Regardless,
place 6 is for African Americans, then the rest we know what.
well, that's
So
why.
those are the things
yeah,
we
that's
worked
why
again to change,
we went
and we did.
The voters went because. of
Austinized for geographic representation, like Linda Curtis, Mr. Rogers, they did a very good job. Even myself, I volunteered. You know, I gave money for that fight,
Right.
for that 3 to pass.
Well, you know
and
that,
I'm glad
that,
it passed.
that the Travis County Republican Party and LULAC and the Mexican American Neighborhood Associations were the ones that started the push through the legislature. But all the liberals here in Travis County, all our Democratic delegation said, no, we don't like the state telling us what to do. So then the second time it went out, Senator Wentworth called and told me, because I'm with LULAC, let's file the bill again. Let's file it. So we filed it. And the following day, the mayor comes out in the newspaper, remember?
Yeah.
We are going to have it on the ballot. We are going to have it on the ballot, you know. We don't need to go through the legislature, you know. But,
Another proud moment in Republican history.
but it was,
Republican.
it was this group. And then,
I had to throw that one in there.
and then Austin Geographic
Yeah,
Representation was
Linda
born.
Curtis. Yeah, Linda
And
Curtis.
that was a petition drive. And the
Yeah.
petition drive was a safety net.
Yep.
Because the council, through our
They
efforts,
knew they were going
Oh,
to
yeah.
try
said
to.
it's going to
They're
be
trying
on
to
the
play,
Single
ballot.
it
they're
somehow
trying to play
or
the
another.
politics.
So the petition drive was the safety net to make sure that if they did change their minds, the voters had spoken otherwise.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the history. As a historian and as a teacher in a ACC setting, a community college, that's the true history of how geographic district
Yeah,
came to play.
it's a good thing because in
But Austin is Austin.
yeah,
It's a racist town.
no,
and
no,
they'll never-
And they
sir,
rated one.
no,
They're
no,
all run
I
by
don't think,
Democrats.
no,
East Austin
no,
has to be
no,
a
guys,
Segregated town.
no, I don't think,
Well,
I don't
well,
think
we're-
Austin.
the leaders are.
We're changing.
Well,
I'll put it to you this way.
Thanks to
let me put it this way.
gentrification, we're changing.
I'll put it to you this way. It is the leadership that is giving the perception of racist, of being
Yes.
racist here.
Yes, that's
That-
true.
As we mentioned last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
we have the lawsuit that's going on because of discrimination with the housing. Who's running it? Who's in charge of all that stuff? Guess what? The Democrats, you guys voted for. Well, maybe not the 12 viewers, but the people that are going to be watching it on YouTube and say, it's all you guys.
Probably half
Yeah.
our 12 viewers did.
but you see though, I don't think Austin is a racist town. I don't think Austin's problem is caused by Democrats or caused by Republicans.
You know,
I think it's about leadership. You know, that's the whole thing. Yeah, you may have more Democrats in there. Well, it's everybody's issue. What we're trying to figure out is how to move the city
Well,
forward.
but see, we have that opportunity now when we have these 10 districts. We're no
Yes.
longer going to have those issues. So that's why I'm asking, in moving forward with these 10 districts, these 3 different, this totally different government structure that we're going to have now, is where I was coming from on the question of, now we're going to have 10,
How they get along.
so how do you get 6? Because when you run, a lot of times when they run for office, they say, you run for office, yeah, you know how to count to 5 or 3, for like for the commissioners. Huh? You know how to count to 3?
So,
Yeah,
so are
1,
you
2,
saying
3.
the 10 is
No.
too much?
Huh?
Are you saying 10 is a lot?
No. But I'm saying in 10, you'll need 6 for majority.
Oh, yeah. Like I
In the
said,
commissioner's court, it was 5, so you needed 3.
yeah, but if the issue makes sense, I think people will look at it and move. That's why everybody has to participate.
And the good thing about geographic district is that whatever decision you do make or vote, you're going to have to go back to the
Absolutely.
community and
It's
sleep.
that's a good point.
That brings me to this point. Just to give my friend, I call him my friend, Mike Martinez, some credit. In 2008, you know, both of us were right there on Battle Spring, this issue of single-member district. We were arguing before the League of Women Voters
Right.
that we should have it. Some politicians back in '08, they were just laughing at us. Oh, we don't want it. This and that. Austin is not ready for that. But, to Mike's credit, he stood his ground, and we keep pushing. Then Linda and the rest of the team came on board, and I'm glad it's done. Because you cannot live in a city where those that represent you, they live in one geographic area. It doesn't make sense. If you go back to history and see all these council members, where they live, they all live at two zip codes, all over. We know where they live. If I live in South Austin, who represent my interests?
You know what's interesting? Austin is so progressive, right? Politically, it's progressive.
How
Would you
progressive
say
is
that?
it?
Well,
Say
Oh,
that?
sorry, that was a joke.
Well, let me put it this way. Austin is moving forward.
Okay.
Austin is a very nice city. I love this city. Irrespective of our different political views. I know he's a libertarian.
No, I ain't no libertarian.
With a Republican
He's a
hat on,
Republican.
He's a hidden libertarian.
you need to come out of the closet, man.
Yeah, you got me on Obamacare. What more you want, man?
But I always say common sense is common sense, no matter how you look at politics. Everybody's trying to do what is
Well,
best
we
for
always
the society.
advocate here, regardless of who you support or who don't support, the important thing is to get out there and vote.
Uh-oh,
Get
you're getting in
involved.
trouble now.
Get involved.
Get involved in the campaign. Don't just go out there and vote for anyone.
Just like this Travis County George. Let's talk about the
That's your
Travis County
Obama phone
George.
going on.
That's your. Uh-oh, he's getting in
The-
trouble
the-
with
the
all,
Travis
all,
Ca-
the,
the-
all the comments he's saying right now.
The Travis County George
right,
election
let's-
is tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk something about tomorrow too.
Tomorrow's election
Because
day.
well, now I also got the word that you know how weird we get here in this town if you get a little bitty piece of ice on the road. So they might close some of the schools.
So y'all need to stay tuned to the media.
Stay tuned to the media, because now it's the first time you can go to anywhere to vote.
Yeah.
But if you want to go to your precinct convention, you've got to go by your precinct to see where it's going to be at.
Well, for the Democrats, we're going to have it on March 22nd. It's not going to be.
So you ain't got to worry about it. But
You
if
don't
you're,
have to worry about it.
let me see, out of the 12 viewers, we got, I think, 3 of them are Republicans. So you're going to have to just, you can look on tcrp.com, Travis County Republican Party on the website.
So who do you
Find
think is
out.
going to win that
Just in
race?
case.
Which one?
Andy and Sarah.
Neither one of them would come on the show. Though Sarah Eckhart's been on before in the past.
But let me say this about that race. The Democratic primary, Andy and Sarah. I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to that race because I like both.
So I guess I'm going to assume you're a Democrat.
Sarah and Bridget Shea.
Well, let me say this. I'm just a common sense individual.
or
I don't use party to
You're
define
an
who I am.
independent.
I'm not independent. I'm just a common sense.
He doesn't want to admit
I
he's
look at
Republican right
things.
now.
I look at things the way they are and make a decision what I
You
want to do.
wanna run
Okay,
for
I couldn't
office
get him.
here.
I couldn't get
You
him to
couldn't
say
get him to
whether
say
to
it.
Democrat or Republican. But anyway,
Somebody asked me
Right.
one day, are you a big D Democrat or a small D Democrat? I said, what's the difference? And I went, I said,
well,
well,
there's another one, the white, the yellow Democrat.
or the blue dog,
Yeah,
or the
blue
blue
dog
dog
Democrat.
Democrat, the blue dog Democrat,
But anyway, you
or
were going to say about
Republican.
this race, your opinion, your input. There's everybody's watching.
You see,
We're live.
Yeah, tell them how
Yeah.
you're going to vote in it, because I won't be voting. I'll be voting in the other primary.
my whole problem with the Travis County George election is the influence of money in the whole process.
That's the name of the game.
You know,
He's got all that wired up, I think, don't he?
okay, let's not mention
Oh, okay.
anybody's name.
Never mind.
Well, but isn't
Sorry
that the
about
name
that.
of the game?
Both got money. Both of them got money.
But isn't that the name of the game?
But we're trying to reduce
Not
that.
always.
But it shouldn't be.
I know.
It
You
shouldn't
know,
be, but-
because
but-
if you turn on your TV right now, you listen to all this political ad going on. I don't like the negative ad, I've seen so far about one candidate again. Just tell us what you're going to do when elected. That's what I need to know. Don't tell about, oh, Mr. A did this, or Mr. B did that, or all kinds of stuff. So, but I know who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
So I'm just watching to see.
So who?
But I like both of them. I like Andy. I like Sarah. So when I walk in there, oh Lord bless me, too many right decisions.
Here's the one that I find that's interesting for the Democrat side, and it's actually for the on the Democrat primary for the U.S. Senator. You have Maxie Scher, you have Harry Kim, you have Keisha Rogers, you have Michael Jetland, I guess, and David Alamil.
Holy cow.
You have one person in there that the Democrats have tried to destroy on Facebook like you would not believe, and that's Keisha Rogers. Or goes by LaKeisha Rogers. She, I listened to some of the stuff that she had to say. She's one of the few people that have said that she would vote for the impeachment of the president. She wants to bring back the
She's in
Glass-Steagall.
Democrat Party?
She's part of the Democrat Party. I
would
think
she-
there might be
why
some
would she say
infiltration
that,
into it.
though?
Because she didn't believe. Because she is very.
She's got brains?
No,
no.
and I've got to find the group that she's part. But she's part of the.
But why would she say she want to vote? She would like to vote to impeach the president?
Because of the actions that he's done.
like what?
Let's see. Well, we've got the independent actions that he's done through the executive orders.
Bush did it.
Through many
Reagan
degrees.
did it.
However, the actions that
anything
he's
like
done,
he's done it.
but they haven't done it like he's done it, to the point where if any bad thing happens, the government controls it all, and it's all by the stroke of a pen. He's already written so many executive orders that says that if we have some type of calamity, we're going to control the water, we're going to control the food, we're going to control the radios, and by the way, we're going to control your guns.
Well, you know,
And then there's a series of other ones. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that he's done that you just
But sir,
talking
but sir,
about campaigns, your party is using the immigrant issue
That's
everybody's using it.
to win their races is incredible.
so you're
Every
a Republican?
Republican.
Oh, okay.
Every Republican candidate, he's the one that's gonna make sure they
Control
all
the
go
border.
back to Mexico. Vote for me.
What about the Senate race, Cornyn and the rest of all those
Oh,
Tea Party?
I'm an ABC guy. Anybody but Cornyn.
Why?
Because he did not do enough to fight against Obamacare.
What's wrong with
Here's the
Obamacare?
problem.
What's
Here's
wrong
the
with
problem with
Obamacare?
Obamacare. And I've used my personal examples, my personal
2
life
minutes.
of having cancer. I've had a cancer scare already, and I've already had cancer. It's been removed and all that fun stuff. But I've had to pay out of the wazoo, out of my personal money that I've earned because of the changes that occurred with Obamacare, with the Affordable Care Act. Let's just put it this way: I'm now paying for other people to have their feminine procedures done. I'm now paying for Gavino to go ahead and have his prostate checked or any other type of procedures that are being done, and I'm losing a lot of the benefits that I used to have as having my own insurance for myself and my daughter.
Okay, can I ask you one question? Okay, can you name one good thing you like about Obamacare?
There is 3. Actually, 2 things I can
okay,
say.
that's good.
Okay, they have the implementation of not being denied coverage. Okay, however, there's loopholes in there that have denied people coverage already. Okay, when they first and I'll give you a prime example. When they first came out with it, said that kids with pre-existing coverage or pre-existing conditions would not be denied. They found a loophole where they've had at least. They reported at least one on TV where they said, "Hey, by the way, you got a kid over here that had insurance and now doesn't have it now because of the."
So you believe, if I'm hearing you correctly, there are some good things about it, there are some bad things about
Correct.
it. Okay, so
But
why
the-
can't
but
we
the
just
problem-
focus on what you disagree with and say how we can fix those
Oh,
things?
it's real simple. It's real simple.
How?
You take away all the bad stuff. You keep the good stuff in there.
Okay.
Okay. You take away the fact that you have to pay more out of pocket.
People will agree to that. Nobody
Okay?
wants to pay more for anything.
People are paying more out of pocket to get the benefits that they need. People are paying more out of pocket in premiums because of the changes that went on, and they're losing a lot of the services that they had before.
I think.
And the
yeah.
reality of the situation is that if you want to go ahead and keep the good stuff, great, keep the good stuff
Exactly.
in there, but it's gonna cost.
What I don't like about Obamacare, only one thing I don't like, the public mandate. That's all.
The
That
other problem that should come- the other
if
problem
you
that
don't
should
have
come
it,
up-
you get
Correct.
fine. I don't like that
The
part.
other problem that comes
That's what I
up
don't
with
like.
it is that there's a bailout for the insurance companies.
Well-
If they don't
Let
meet
me
certain
give my 2 minutes.
markers,
Look,
if they don't meet certain
hold on,
markers,
let
the
me give my
federal
2
government,
minutes.
you and I, all of us here, except for Pokey, because
I'm a
he's
strong map client, so I don't need to worry about
no,
it.
here's the thing. Eventually, that's going to go away.
Not exactly
But
so.
Obamacare
Eventually-
is a good
Hold
thing.
on, hold on, hold
Eventually,
on.
that's going to go away.
In my 2 minutes, you know, I spent Christmas in a hospital. And I did talk to 7 of the professionals down there, either RNs or MDs, and only one of them said, it'll be okay, don't worry about it too much. The rest of them were all, it was doom and gloom.
Yeah,
And
they're
these are
not
people
gonna
that actually
be
work
able
there.
to burn people no more.
Well, no, it's, they're cutting the cost.
overcharged.
Let's put it this way.
They pointed out how all the nurses
No, no.
come from Canada down here.
I know a
Yeah.
hospital.
You
I know
know,
a hospital up north. Okay, 65% of the patients are Medicare patients. 10% are Medicaid. The rest are private insurance. Okay, they're getting most of the money from the federal government. And guess what the government's doing? They're telling them, if you have Medicare, you have to be in that hospital within a certain amount of time. If their length of stay is over a certain amount of time, we're punishing you. And you have to treat
Yeah.
them because if they come back again, we're going to punish you again.
And
They've created
this
this
is
system.
why,
you
this
see-
is why it's real important for people that have difference of opinions on policy
Exactly.
to go vote.
Exactly.
So tomorrow you go
Go
vote.
vote.
And you get rid of all the
Pay
Democrats
attention to the other
you
people.
get rid of
that
all the
telling
people
you
that
what
voted.
polls are open and all.
You get rid of all the people that voted for that damn program.
And you
Wow.
vote
Why you
for-
Because
gonna-
they're the
so you don't like
people-
Cornyn?
I
John
don't
Cornyn?
like Cornyn.
We're
Oh no,
gonna
because
take this.
It's
we're gonna
to
turn
me,
this state
it's
blue.
less
No,
of
we're not.
the rest of the team.
You better get out there and vote, or
he-
they will turn it blue.
because of his actions
I
on cloture
copy on it, tell him.
and voting for and voting for certain
That's right.
acts
You got to
to
get
occur
elected.
so that they,
You're
so that they can
the
vote
highly
into
contested
it.
race. aren't you?
It created more havoc. He did not want to
I
fight.
will
in my
support you.
opinion.
I say vote for
I
Gavino.
did start seeing some postings on Facebook.
Tell us about this.
Encouraging people to go vote for the only contested Democratic precinct chair race is 439 where I'm at.
All those times you've been,
256 Democrat precinct.
Wow.
I'm the only
you're
one.
gonna
that-
challenge him. I wonder why.
Here's
They're
the
coming after
reality
you
of the
now.
situation,
Coming
folks.
after
These are the
If
Republicans coming after you now. The Republicans.
No, it's not
No,
even Republicans. It's his guy. It's his people. I'm gonna point it out to you guys right now. If you want somebody that's fair and honest and that will be able to go ahead and see both sides of the aisle and be able to be as correct as possible, it's him. It's this man right here.
I gotta say
I don't
that
care what
too,
anybody says. It's gonna be this guy. It doesn't matter. This
Democrat, he
partisanship.
got
He's a good Democrat,
This
right?
partisanship is a bunch of crap. You know, in regards to LULAC, who likes to claim that they're nonpartisan, but it's a bunch of bull. I'll tell you that much right now. Why?
Some
Because
of
I
them are- some of
lived
them are
in the
Republicans.
communities where LULAC was in there, and they were so
Yeah.
strong of saying, "Oh, you gotta defend us because somos la raza." No. No, he doesn't do it. You go for this guy.
Can we,
We have Republicans in LULAC.
Yeah, and
can we
they're
talk about
quiet.
it?
They don't do anything.
The governor's race.
Why?
Wendy
Because
Davis
they're
and,
worried of being called racists.
What about your guy, Greg Abbott, running for governor?
Oh my God.
You know, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I like the man, but I don't like some of the stuff that he's done. Okay,
Why do you-
and
I
this
got
is
my
something
whole
that we
list
talked.
here to
And
look for,
this is
written
something that
down
we
already.
talked about. You know, I make fun of Wendy Davis for being a gold digger. Okay, she gives me money. That's all. Anyway, same premise. Same premise. What did he do? He ended up making his millions by suing the city, by suing taxpayers
Greg
of the
Abbott.
money because of an
Greg
accident that
Abbott's
occurred.
a
from
gold digger because he was a trial lawyer, ambulance chaser lawyer for his own
and
ambulance.
then he turns around and says, "Oh, let's go ahead and create
Who's
reform."
the one in your party
Total
that
reform.
was attacking the undocumented or illegals?
They all
Oh,
were.
that
And
Dan
then
Patrick.
they found out that he had
Dan
some
Patrick. Now here's
working for him.
oh no, I'm not going to vote for him. Here's the problem that came up
Which
with
one
him.
was that?
Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick? He
Yeah,
hired a couple.
here's the problem that came up with Dan Patrick. He didn't fight hard enough when it came to the creation of Wendy Davis. Although he will throw David Dewhurst under the bus by saying the Republicans and David Dewhurst were the ones that created Wendy Davis during that whole abortion situation and that whole let me stick a catheter up my hoo-ha so that I can talk for 12 hours.
Yeah, can I say something about this governor's race? What I think, you know, because I think I put on my Facebook page many times. I get a lot of Democrats getting pissed off at me, and a lot of Republicans getting
Democrats
pissed
have
off
a
at
tendency to
me.
do that
You see, what makes me really upset,
if you don't agree with
Mr.
them.
Gavito, is help me understand this. Every 4 years, it seems like Democrats always concede that race, the governor's race in Texas. How? They always nominate someone that they know that is going to lose. It pisses me off. We want a real competition.
Well,
Why do they do that?
Well, because one, they see, like David Zapata told me, at the state level, you're going to see Republicans hold those seats for the next 15, 20 years.
But that's not
Well,
true.
Well, now,
Look at the demographics.
look at, what's his name, the last Latino that ran for governor.
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Yes, Tony Sanchez.
Sanchez was good in the inner city, but once he went into the rural area, people, he would hear comments like, go back to Mexico. I mean, he's the one that's part of wanting to go to Mexico. I mean, he's totally
Yeah, but we have people right now that can run for governor. Mr. Waxon, Senator Waxon is there. We can name a lot of names.
Senator Watson, yeah.
Royce West from Dallas area is there. Even Letitia Vanderpool, she can run for governor. So my thing is, every 4 years, we see the same kind of movie.
Yeah.
And we know the end of that movie all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Why
Look at
do
Bill
you
White.
guys pick Wendy Davis? I keep on saying it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I had no personal involvement in selecting Wendy because I'm not
Yeah,
even
but
a precinct.
you know what I think our Democrats are doing?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me tell you.
I
Let
know
me
what you're
think.
talking about.
Let me tell you what I think they're doing, and it's
Right.
factual.
Okay.
They're using her to raise money for other races. That's all.
She's raising a lot of out.
Raising a lot of money out
Well,
of state and
but
all
see,
kinds of
so
stuff.
she-
Wendy
she
Davis.
doesn't
That's
have any
all.
tuition to pay,
But
right?
see,
Yeah,
if
they
you
know
go
she's-
to the ballot, when you go to the ballot tomorrow, you'll see that there's more than one candidate for Democrat governor. So it's not just Wendy Davis. There's five
But
or
it's
six
already
others.
the establishment has already picked her.
Well,
We know
you
that.
tell that to Ted Cruz about the establishment.
Ted Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that one.
When Ted Cruz started, he was minus 6%.
Yeah, and they still wipe
That's
the
a
floor
good
with it.
point.
And,
but
and he's the prime example
it's gonna be Wendy
that
Davis.
money doesn't, that you don't have to have a whole
a
bunch
lot of money to
win a
run for
campaign.
office. It's just like a Greg Abbott. We're talking about it on the Republican side. Like my friend said here, to me, Greg Abbott is a big hypocrite
Well, do
based
we-
on the history.
Right.
You can see the two candidates for governor. Let's be real. It's like, is that all we can afford? Is that all we have in Texas to be governor? So I don't understand why Democrats they do the same thing over and over. It doesn't make sense. Why is Kik Watson
let's
scared
have
to
more.
run for
Hold on.
governor? Why is Letitia not running for
7
governor?
minutes.
Why did she choose to run for lieutenant governor?
It's a power structure.
We
I
have-
mean,
we have
not
two people
everyone
running for-
runs
we have two
because
for
they
the
want to
primary.
run. Sometimes they draft you. Sometimes, look at Obama. When Obama started running for president, the party wasn't behind him.
Nobody
They were
thought he
behind
could beat the
Hillary.
Clinton machine.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
I didn't.
Hillary. So while I do see what you're mentioning, and I do see that there's some concerns, but those shouldn't be ones that keep us from taking the initiative on our own or, just rely on
Pick
whatever the
somebody
party
else.
says.
I agree with you.
Because when Bill White ran for governor and he went to vote, when Rick Perry went to vote, and when he finished that, the media asked him, did you vote straight ticket? Rick Perry said yes. They asked Bill White when he finished, did you vote straight ticket? Bill White said no.
But why would somebody vote straight ticket? To me, that's stupid.
Well, if you're a party
there's a couple
loyalty-
reasons why.
Yeah,
There's a
but-
couple reasons why.
But it doesn't make sense. Let's be real.
Well, no.
Hold on
Let's be
here.
There's a
real.
couple. There's a couple of valid reasons. Well, no, there's a couple of reasons why. If you look
Vote
at the
tomorrow,
party,
7
you look
a.m. to
at
7 p.m.
those individuals.
At any
you
site
look at those
in
individuals that they
Travis
say,
County.
okay, I'm just going to pick it because I trust a particular party, and then you look at the other side, at the other argument where they say there's no other competition to go ahead and vote against, so I'm going to vote.
But do you vote for the party or you vote for the individual?
Right.
That's the question.
Right. There's okay.
That's the
old
question.
school-
Or you
now,
vote
the old
against
school-
the party.
The
Exactly.
old school method is you vote for the party. That's
No.
the old school method.
But it's wrong.
And you're right, it is.
So why can't
It
we
is.
change it?
The thing that needs to come through, well, because there's people that are used to having that option. So here's the thing. If you don't want to do that, you undervote.
So are you going to tell me? Let's be real. Let's be honest here. Are you telling me that every Republican that is running for office or every Democrat that is on the ballot, you like all of
No,
them?
No.
That's the
that's why.
point.
That's in
That's why.
November.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why you undervote.
But again, because it's a free election, because it's a democracy, it's okay for people to vote that way, whether we agree that
But
we shouldn't vote that way.
if Rick Perry
But
did
the
it,
bottom
that
line
was
is
that
that
was
they
so
voted.
stupid. If Rick Perry did that,
Yeah.
that's no. That
Well,
doesn't.
the
Oh, but
governor
we
is
can't-
in
but
the
we can't
party.
see that.
I understand they do. What I'm
In
my
Texas,
no.
there's a long tradition of voting straight ticket.
But it doesn't. What I'm saying is,
I know.
we are all smart individuals. You
That's why
cannot
you-
just
that's
show
why
up
you
and
have-
just check
That's
and
why
just
you
go
have the
home.
power of the undervote.
Read the whole individuals. Make a very intelligent decision who you want to vote. You can vote for a good Republican, vote for him. A good Democrat, vote for him. What's wrong with that? If you go ahead and check a straight ticket, come on, you're
That's
too
my
lazy.
wife.
But
She votes
that's why you have the power of
Yeah,
the undervote.
individual. I vote for
You have a
individual.
lot of Latinos that vote straight ticket in November, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's the
they all
problem
vote
we have.
straight
A
Democrat.
lot.
But that goes with they're going to call you to get mad at you again.
We actually got another caller calling in.
Here's for the Democrat on the Democrat primary for the governor. It's Reynaldo Rey Madrigal, and then Wendy Davis.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have abortion Barbie versus a Hispanic.
Oh, no.
Well, in the Republican
In the
races-
Republican Party, there's a lot.
No,
man.
it's like how many immigrants can you deport? The more immigrants you deport, the more.
No,
the more
here's the part that people
How
forget.
blatant can they be?
No, here's the part that people forget. It's
And you know, ain't none of
But
them do a damn
but I
thing when
think
they
Cornyn
talk
is
about
going to
it.
win the
That's
election.
federal
though.
law. I mean, what
I'm
is
sorry?
Not
John
only
Cornyn
that, after
is
they
gonna win.
finish the
You know, I'm gonna
commercial,
hope he doesn't.
Dewhurst is going to
they
win.
call
No,
one,
Cornyn is
and
gonna
give
win.
them right.
No, no.
Yeah, make sure my yard's finished.
Dewhurst is gonna.
I know, he's
gonna win.
He's gonna lose that one against Patterson.
No.
Patterson will win that one straight down.
No. For the
Although
Republican
I'm probably gonna
primary
vote
for the lieutenant governor, I'm telling him Dewhurst is going to win that race.
Yeah.
Cornyn is going to win that race. At the end of the day, just write it down.
Establishment.
It's simple.
No, because he here's the problem that's gone on with Dewhurst. What was the track record that we had on him? It was what 10% 10% were in support of him at one point.
But,
And I think it was still
he's
down.
a reasonable guy.
Yeah.
You have to look at
No,
him.
he's not. He's the one that created abortion. He's the one that created
No.
Wendy.
So you want all these far
He's the one
right
that- he's the
individuals?
he's
You
the
want all
person-
these far right people just?
I would rather have a change of the people of the old guard of the
He's a
establishment.
Chicano Rush Lumber.
Yeah, he's a Mexican
They call me the
Rush
They call me the Mexican
I like
Rush Limbaugh. It's time to get rid of of a lot of the establishment people because
From both parties,
they
huh?
From both parties. Doesn't matter who it is. They need to get rid of the establishment
But you
and
know,
allow the fresh people
Things
to
are
come.
changing because,
Things are-
like our youngest right now, like my nephew's Ron Paul, and I said, wait a minute, what happened
go.
here?
He wants-
That's
he
a
wants
good.
to
That's a
look. He
good
wants to
name.
look. He
You
wants
see,
to-
No, he's mostly libertarian.
Let me say this here. I know most viewers will not like me when I say this, but I'm going to say this.
Uh-oh, we got
Uh-oh.
a minute and a half.
Ron Paul will never be president. Marco
No, but-
Rubio will never be president.
Ted Cruz will.
Ted Cruz will never be president.
He might be.
Just write it down. So I said so. It will never
Okay.
happen.
Within the next
They
20
are
years.
not presidential materials, whether you
All right.
like it or not.
Hold on, we got 1 minute left.
Within the
Next
next
week, I've got
10
to call in to Richard Rios.
Ted Cruz.
He said
52.
10 more years for
Within
Ted
10 years.
Cruz.
Within 10 years, Ted Cruz will be.
The Canadian will become a U.S. president?
Yes.
He's from Canada, you know that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
Obama
You
that
know
was
why
born
they-
in
you know why they
Hawaii.
do that? Because they're going to say because of the maternal side, his mom.
Oh,
was American.
really?
All right,
Well, look
hey,
what they
hey,
did. Look what they did with
get
Obama.
out there and vote
They did that
tomorrow.
with
If you
George
can't-
Bush.
if you ain't voted already,
Oh,
vote
wow.
anywhere.
And if you
That's
live
interesting.
in precinct 439,
Uh,
Get out there
all
and vote,
right,
folks.
I
You
see
still
you
have time
later.
to study
It's
the
in there.
material.
Those I know you are watching
Now
me.
you got 30 more
All
seconds.
my friends.
Yeah, go
So
see
we want to
30
thank
more
you, Sam,
seconds.
for being here with us. You have been a pleasure to have a great discussion.
Yeah, y'all again.
This is probably the most excited I've ever been when it
Austin
comes to
City
talking.
Council
Really?
District 1.
It's awesome. Okay, Austin City Council
We'll
District
have
Mr.
him
Wong.
on again.
Yeah, Sam Osemene.
Since I've been wanting to have all the city council people on it this early in the race.
They
not,
won't
you
come
know,
out here.
It's
They're
only 4 or
afraid.
5 of them.
They're afraid.
I don't know. We got the ones that are going to run. Anyway, so long, folks. We'll see you next week.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. Adios.
There we go.